The first thing you're going to want to do is cut out all of your fabrics according to the pattern directions. Then we're going to prep everything so we can get ready to get to the really fun part, which is sewing. So to start with, we're going to start with all of our lining pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and set aside my exterior pieces and just focus on lining for a minute. On your lining, you're going to have 2 large pieces of fabric, 2 large pieces of interfacing, and your small bottom piece that will have both fabric and interfacing. So what we're going to want to do is fuse these 2 together. And I'm going to move this to my iron. I'm going to get rid of that little thread. What we're going to do here is follow our manufacturer's directions, and we're going to stick these 2 pieces together. You're going to want to make sure you get a really nice, good seal around this because it's going to affect how your finished product looks in the end. So according to what our manufacturer is telling us to do, we're going to go ahead and iron these together. Go ahead, take your time, don't be in a rush. I really think ironing is very relaxing, so I enjoy this part of the process. I like to iron from my fabric side, which is probably going to be something that your manufacturer will indicate. Really want to focus on those outside edges and make sure that they are nice and stuck together. When we're sewing with those, if they're not stuck together, it kind of makes it a little bit more difficult. So really focus on those outside edges. You're going to notice too, when you get this all fused together, you might have a little bit of stray interfacing that hangs off. My recommendation is that you go through everything, trim it down, make it nice and square. It'll make your sewing process a lot easier. All right, so I'm just going to look at this. Make sure my edges are nicely fused. Oh, see, I've missed an edge right here. I'm going to want to get that. Just really be careful to make sure you get it all. All right, so that's looking good. I'm going to repeat that same process. I've already done that on my other 2 pieces. So now I have my 2 lining pieces and my bottom all fused and ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and set those aside. And I'm going to focus on my exterior pieces. So on your exterior, we get to work with one of my favorite products, which is this foam stabilizer product. I'm using the Soft and Stable by Annie's, and I just really love this product. But we need to stick these 2 pieces together. We've got a fabric piece and the stabilizer piece, and we're going to have a few of those. We have the main body piece. We'll have 2 of those, and then we have the top lining piece. We'll have 2 of those, and then we'll have our bottom piece. All of those need to be stuck together. So to do that, this is really fun. I really enjoy spray adhering things. I'm going to set these aside, and I'm just going to focus on my 1 top trim piece. When you're using the spray adhesive, you want to make sure to protect your work surface, because once you get this stuff on it, it's really hard to get it off. So I'm going to take my adhesive and I'm going to follow my manufacturer's directions. I'm going to take my fabric off, and I'm going to want to make sure I get a nice heavy coating so that those really stick together. Focusing on my edges as well. This stuff is so great for your projects. All right, if you have any stray threads like I do right here, just make sure to get those off because that will show through your fabric. All right, I've got this totally coated. You might want to do that before you spray too, because then your fingers get sticky. And now I'm going to lay my fabric on top. And smooth it out. This particular brand requires that I iron it to really activate the adhesive. So I'm just going to set this on my ironing board and just activate that glue. Once you've done this with this piece, you're going to do it with all of your other exterior pieces. and do the same thing. Maybe trim up any extra that's hanging off the edge. Sometimes this foam can be a little tricky to cut with your rotary cutter or with scissors. You don't get a super clean edge, so go ahead and trim it all up, make it all match nicely, and complete that with all of your exterior pieces. The last thing you need to do for prepping for sewing is to prep your handles, and you're going to have 8 handles total. You're going to have 4 of them that will have interfacing and 4 of them that won't. So go ahead and stick on your interfacing to 4 of those and leave 4 of them without, and then you're going to be ready to go. And then we get to the really fun part, which is sewing things together.